The Lady of the Lake. In the heart of the forest, hidden behind a curtain of moss and shadow, lies Black Hollow Lake. The water is dark and still, its surface a perfect mirror reflecting the twisted trees that loom over it. Locals warn travelers not to linger near its banks, especially after sunset. The lake, they say, has a guardian, or a prisoner, known only as the Lady of the Lake. The tale begins long ago, before the land was tamed and the forest was thick with secrets. A village once stood where the forest now swallows the horizon, a settlement of weary souls who sought peace in the wilderness. Among them was a woman named Miren, a healer with a gentle voice and eyes as deep as the lake she lived beside. Miren was beloved by her people, but her beauty and skill drew envy from a man named Varys, the village chieftain. Varys was cruel, his heart hardened by greed and his hands stained with blood. He desired Miren, not out of love, but to claim her as another possession. When she spurned his advances, he turned the village against her, accusing her of witchcraft. One storm-ravaged night, they came for her with torches and blades, their faces twisted in anger and fear. Miren fled to the lake, the only sanctuary she had ever known. But there was no escape. The villagers cornered her at the water's edge, and Varys himself thrust her into the icy depths. She did not scream as the lake consumed her. She merely stared back at them, her eyes filled with sorrow and a promise of vengeance. The villagers returned to their homes, their hearts heavy with guilt. But Varys laughed, declaring the lake cleansed of her taint. That laughter did not last. The next morning his body was found near the lake, his face frozen in terror, and his chest clawed open as if by some great beast. The villagers whispered of a curse, but they dared not approach the lake again. One by one they began to vanish. Some were taken from their beds in the dead of night, others from the forest paths they had walked for years. Always their bodies were found by the water, pale and lifeless, with wide, staring eyes. Years passed, and the village crumbled into ruins. The forest claimed the land, and the lake remained, dark and eternal. Yet the lady did not rest. Travelers who wander too close to Black Hollow Lake speak of seeing her. Her pale face just beneath the surface, her hair billowing like ink in the water. She is silent, but her presence is heavy, an oppressive weight that makes the air thick and unbreathable. It is said that she lures the lost and the curious, drawing them to the water with a song only they can hear. Those who step into the lake are never seen again, their ripples fading into the stillness. Some believe she seeks justice, others say she craves revenge. But those who know the tale of Miren understand the truth. She is bound to the lake, her spirit tied to the water that betrayed her as much as the people who cast her into it. On quiet nights, when the wind is still and the forest holds its breath, you can hear her footsteps on the shore, soft and wet, like the patter of rain. The Lady of the Lake walks, her sorrow and rage unending, her presence a warning to all who dare disturb her eternal vigil. Black Hollow Lake remains untouched by human hands, its waters undisturbed save for the ripples that sometimes appear, as if something beneath its surface stirs. The lady waits, her watch unbroken, her vengeance incomplete. And so the legend grows, a whispered warning to those who gather around campfires, spinning tales to keep the darkness at bay. For if you hear her song, it is already too late.